Hi everyone, welcome to episode 35 of Mother Industrialist Live Show, where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting and life. I am Kenneth Chu, the host. So welcome. It's a brand new season with a brand new look. As you can see in the frame, I have a brand new logo, which is over here. Let me see where it is. So, and also why is it a brand new season? Because for me, I took a month break because my book was released. My book finally is out, and I just want to share with you guys that it's out, it's here. This is my book. Yes, Mother Industrialist. So I'm so happy that my book is finally out, and why I took a long break, one month break, because the book is out. Sending the book to my to the people who have pre-ordered my book. At the same time, also to think of new strategy, and also to gather all the new guests that will be coming in for the new season. But today is not about me. Today is about this really awesome guest that I met her through a mommy support group, and after I get to know her, I was really intrigued by the business that she started, and she's very inspiring. And she's a mompreneur with two beautiful children, and she's the founder of Symphony Scentsations. And today's topic we're going to talk about is how essential oil changed my life and my children's. So without further ado, let us welcome Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hannah.
Hi. Thanks for
Thank you.
making time. Thanks for making time to come onto my show. I know that you have an appointment to rush after this, but really glad that you make time for it. And as a tradition, before we kickstart with the show, that every guest get to pose a question of the day out to the guest and to the audience. And are you ready with the question? With the answer to the question of the day that is posted by the previous guest?
Yes.
Okay, so the question of the day posted by the previous guest is: as a leader or a mompreneur, what are you doing to foster or encourage innovation in your business? So I repeat again: as a leader or a mompreneur, what are you
Mhm.
doing to foster or encourage innovation in your business? So you got it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so spend some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to check if we are live successfully, and if our audio are good to go. Okay, is that good?
Okay.
So I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go and check. So going into Facebook. And meantime, we can see if anyone is coming on live, and we can maybe share with them. Okay, see myself. Okay, I see someone logging in, coming on live. Let me see if the sound. Okay, I can hear myself. Okay, I can hear you. Good. So, Nicole, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so share it with us.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Kenneth for inviting me for today's Facebook Live. All right. So, as a leader, one of the things, or I would say a few things that I will do is, I think very importantly is we need to set aside time. If we want creativity in our life, if we want to have more ideas to bring our business to the next level, you need to set aside time. And when I say set aside time means, for example, you block out certain days in a week just to brainstorm. So it could be, for yourself, you do it alone, or you have a community to brainstorm with you. I mean, just like, most of us came from corporate. Don't we always don't you also have, corporate meetings where
Mm.
your boss would like to sit down with you to launch project A, project B? So it is the same thing. So when you have people with you, that is power. So you need to set aside time. So like, for example, for my business, I set aside time for what we call coaching. So every Monday, I set aside coaching with my leaders. Sometimes it might seem like, okay, every week we are doing the same thing. Okay. But sometimes it's like suddenly, okay, I have this idea. Why don't we go for this event? Why don't we do a pet workshop using essential oils? Right? Or why don't we do a charity event together? And then we massage the elderly. That is more for awareness. We don't go there to sell anything, but it's really some ideas. And sometimes you go there, you know old friends, you get reconnected. That's really very interesting. So I think set aside time, or you can implement something. Like a few years ago, I learned something where you can actually spend some time every day to come up with 5 new ideas for your business. Yeah. So I learned all this from books. So reading books is also very important. So if anybody would like to have some tips, I would suggest that you read a lot to get ideas. All right. You implement a block time. It's more like a habit. And also if you want to be, if you're a startup and you really need a lot of idea, then for a start, every day you set aside a journal, a book to have like 5 daily ideas. Some of the ideas could be repeat, could be very old fashioned, but it doesn't matter. You just list it down and you can revisit them when you are more mature into the business. And sometimes new idea does pop up along the way.
Good, good. Thanks, Nicole, for sharing your answer to the question of the day. And I totally agree with you that the coaching with your team members and also reading a book. Like for me, when I started my business, reading is really the most important thing, and also reading from people that inspire you, especially in business. And I like the idea of having 5 daily ideas that will help in your business. And really, thanks a lot for sharing your answers to the question of the day. And now we can officially kickstart the show. So Nicole, maybe I just need you to move the screen because now you're like falling.
Very
Yes,
small.
correct. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
only
okay.
like the head is being cut off. Okay, good.
All right.
So now we can officially kickstart the show, and maybe you can do a short introduction about yourself. What were you doing prior to you setting up your business, and what are you doing currently, and what is your business all about, and where are you from, and maybe a bit of background about yourself.
Okay, good. So I will share, and along the way, if you think you would like to ask more questions, feel free to stop me and I will answer your question.
Definitely.
All right, so for me, I was a HR resourcing manager before entering into doTERRA. So I was doing recruitment for 10 years. Okay, so during these 10 years, I think a lot of people, they are not aware. I actually went through retrenchment. I was retrenched because of the Lehman Brothers crisis. I was being forced to convert, which means I was hired as a permanent, but because I was pregnant and I was very, very new into the company, and back then the policy was you need to be in the company for 6 months before you can have any maternity benefit. So they decided, okay, Nicole, why don't you go back and you come back 2 weeks later as a temp? So um, I didn't know how much they're going to pay me. Is it $7 per hour? Is it 10? Is it $12 per hour? But um, when they asked me to leave as a permanent and come back as a contract, I didn't want to take that option. Okay, and then the third one that I experienced was termination.
Wow.
I think you couldn't believe it because this round I was pregnant the second time. And I always tell my husband, every time I got pregnant, I get into trouble. I was being terminated because I was in my third trimester. And I think my boss back then, she was very new. She was very eager to bring in profit for the company. And I told her that, you can't actually terminate me in my third trimester.
Yeah.
And after that, she actually paid me the full 5 months benefit.
Wow.
Yeah. So in my 10 years of HR career, although I do recruitment, I recruit people, I give people their dream jobs, I lost my dream job a few times, right? So I can say that there is no job security these days. Okay, so that was how, before I hit the age of 40, I decided, hey, if I don't take the step now to look for something different, to look for something that is within my control, then when? So that was how I embarked into this journey. Yeah. So what I did was I didn't, of course, jump into entrepreneurship immediately. So what I did was I actually had a full-time job, and I actually converted myself to a part-time job first because I needed the security, right? I needed the pay for the housing and all the expenses. And then from there, I actually started my own business at my own pace. So from afternoon to nighttime. Yeah. So in the daytime, I have a job from, let's say, 9 to 1. And after 1 p.m., I'm free to do my own business and do my own planning.
So what were you doing during the day from the 9 to 1? I guess a
Oh,
lot of audience will be curious that how to get such job that you do work half a day and stuff like that. You can focus on something else.
it's also a recruitment job. So if let's say you are a headhunter or you are a recruitment, you can actually do a part-time contract. Yeah, or which means you can do a part-time placement. Yep.
Okay, good. So I just want to move back to the part where you say that like you felt you were like maybe like unlucky that when you got pregnant and things happen and stuff like that. And correct me if I'm wrong. You were saying that the previous company terminated you because you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that a lot from a lot of mothers who wanted to go back to the workforce because previously they were terminated or they were kind of like forced to go when the bosses or the company knows that they're pregnant. So is it a common thing that you see around your friends that are facing, especially when they got pregnant and suddenly their job there's I would say unstable or they are seeing some signs that they're going to lose the job? Is it maybe from your experience, from your friends, and even for yourself? Because you experience that, and it's every time you like you're pregnant with your first one and the third trimester and the second child, and you also face this issue. So maybe you can share your thoughts like it. We know that a lot of employers are encouraging, but not all employers are that. And for me, maybe from the business standpoint or employer, definitely they have their own reason of doing that. But what is your feel upon this movement or this action that they are taking upon like women uh, when they are pregnant, their job is at risk?
Okay. Maybe I share from a HR previous experience. That would be the best.
Yes.
So, for example, if you go into the workforce, if let's say you opt for a full-time job, okay, or what we call a full-time contract, versus if you were to take up a contract job, which means people only hire you on a 6 months basis, 4 months basis, or 1 year fixed term contract. Of course, if you were to compare both, then the one with the 1 year contract has no job security. Yeah, that is why as a recruiter previously, I faced a lot of challenges because there's no job security. Yeah, and yes, maybe
you mean for yourself or for the people that you're going to recruit?
For anybody who takes up a 1 year contract. Yeah. So I'm having challenges to recruit this type of people to want to take up my 1 year contract because they will feel that, oh, then 1 year later, what do you do with me?
Yeah.
I'm left with no job, stranded. So the common challenges that I face is, yes, they will take it up. Then after that, they will leave, right? They will look for a full-time job. So that's a challenge of a recruiter. Then, of course, as a mommy, as someone who is pregnant, if they take up a job like this, like a 1 year contract, and after that they discover they are pregnant, of course, usually the employer will not do anything. But the employer knows that once your 1 year is up, you most probably haven't delivered. They have to let you go because it's just a 1 year contract.
Understand.
So yes, I think it's due to the way the business is run these days. We see a lot of this thing happening. So so that is why I embarked into entrepreneurship, because I think 3 times is bad enough. I don't want 4th time. So I must say I am lucky and unlucky. Why? Unlucky because I face challenges like this. But lucky because every time I get into trouble like this, the next job that I go into, I actually have a pay increment. Yeah.
So
So
it's a blessing in disguise.
yeah, it's a blessing. Baby also bring you blessing, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Chinese say. So yeah, I would say it's a blessing for me. But of course, nobody wants to go through this kind of trauma. We call
Yes,
that a
correct.
bit of trauma, a lot of changes, a
A bit
lot of
like being
uncertainty.
lost at the same time
Yeah.
because you feel that, hey, I'm pregnant now, it should be a happy thing. Why am I losing my job? Yeah.
Yes, correct. So for a lot of people out there who are uh, concerned in this area, then maybe my question to you is that is that something that you want to do with your life then?
Mm.
Do you want to take action? So for me, I took action.
After
I look
three times.
correct. Yeah, I look into what are my expenses, what is the income, what is the expenses if I'm not going to work, and
Mm.
if I were to embark into a business, how much would this business were to cost me? So you have to do your own little calculation,
Mm.
your own business planning.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
guess this part is very important because I've seen a lot, and I talk to a lot of mothers or even parents. They want to step into entrepreneurship and they just jump into it without considering the expenses, or maybe how much time or how much savings they can put into the business and stuff like that. Even before they jump in, they just jump in. Most of the time when they jump in, it's out of desperation. Like example, they are jobless, they are out of job, and they couldn't find a job, and that's where they jump into the any business that they have, and without thinking what is the financial status that they are at, before they jump into that. So was that a consideration for you even before you embark into any business that you come with?
Okay, yes. So for example, when I want to cut back on my pay,
Mm,
so what I did was I did a calculation. I need to see how much I need to earn from the part-time job. My so-called minimum expenses
mm,
to pay for my loans, my insurance, and everything. And of course, spouse support is very important as
yep.
well. You work with your spouse, right? It's not just you, you're not alone. So you can actually work with your spouse to come up with what are the potential expenses that is upcoming, or is there anything that we can cut back on, and then
Mm,
can we live with this X amount of money? So
mm,
when you can, then you embark into so-called business plan, right? Which
mm,
means you most maybe would have found your passion or found the right product that you would like to share.
yeah.
And from there, you do a business plan. And don't rush into a business plan because, yeah, finding the right product, right
Mm,
partner, it all takes time, right? I
mm,
know Singapore is very fast-paced, but it all takes time. I didn't jump out of my part-time job
mm,
immediately to do Symphony Sensations.
yeah.
It took me actually about 1 year.
Mm.
Mm,
To
yeah,
work out the expenses, the finances, and also what it takes to start your own business, right?
yeah. To make sure I have enough earnings from Symphony Sensation,
Mm,
then I actually allow myself to take the next step. So you
mm,
have to plan, right? Because
yes.
yeah, every penny counts when you have two children,
Yes.
car to finance, a house to finance. Yeah.
Yeah, and what you say is what I realize with a lot of mompreneurs I work with.
Mm,
um uh, like they will have like a part-time job, or they will still secure keep their full-time job while they kind of like test the traction, the business, whether is there any traction, like you say that, or whether you are profiting, whether you are seeing income from the business. Like for your business is symphony sensation, whether
yes.
income is coming in from there, whether are you getting talks, whether are you getting any demand from providing the services of selling the product that you are getting. This is what I see a lot of mompreneurs doing, and most of them,
Mhm.
it's more of a successful model for them to do it before they forego the full-time job. And when it's like having a full-time job, having a part-time business, and while the part-time business became a full-time income, and that's where they can forego their full-time job, or maybe the job that they do not like. Like for your case, you had a balance, which is having a part-time job because you really work out, like you have a pay cut, but you have a part-time job, but you have more time to spend on the business, which is the, I would say, the best balance. If
Mm.
anyone who want to go into entrepreneurship, or even have a good idea that you want to venture in, is to is to, because when you have a full-time job, there's a lot of responsibility,
Yeah.
there's a lot of time needed, and definitely that will take up a lot of your effort, your strength, and your mind off it. So like for you, you did, what I like about it is you did do a part-time job, and when a part-time job, the responsibility is not that high and the commitment is not that high, and that's why you can put a lot of effort onto your business. And that's where we are going into, and like today's topic is how essential oil changed my life and my children's. So maybe you can
Yeah.
share with us that what is the business that you jump in, and how did essential oil impact your life, and also impact and change your children's life too.
Okay, sure. All right. So actually, kind of, do you know when I'm young, I actually never like to see a doctor. Yeah, I kind of
You're
like
not that, no, you're not that old also.
younger, like when I was like in my teens, right?
Okay.
I never like to see a doctor, and
Mm,
I kind of like self-medicate with my mom advice.
mm,
All right. So when I grow older, like when I go to work, I was okay to see a doctor
mm.
because why not? I need MC anyway, right? For my body to rest.
Yes.
Yeah. So because sometimes jobs can be very demanding. They
Mm,
need you to do a lot of OT. Yeah. So as you can see, actually since young, I have been advocating a drug-free environment.
mm,
But actually, I wasn't aware. Yeah. Until like maybe 3 years ago. Okay. So actually, what happened was 3 years ago, I was using essential oils, but I was just a user. I never took essential oils very seriously.
mm,
Okay. So it was actually honestly just for the aroma.
mm,
And I tell you, sometimes the universe has planned for you. So
mm,
a few months after using the oils, I had a very, very serious eczema and shingle outbreak.
mm.
Okay, it was so bad that I scratched my skin
Mm,
and it bleeds all the time. So if I wear my pants, the wound will stick on the pants.
mm.
Yeah, and after that, it became so bad that I in fact has no breakfast to eat.
Wow.
Okay, so what do I mean? Which means, for example, if I eat roti prata,
Mm,
if I eat bread,
mm.
anything that is gluten,
Oh,
I will flare up.
so it's the gluten that trigger that eczema.
Correct, correct. And of course, I have an option, right? I can always take steroid.
Mm,
Yeah, but I didn't want the side effect of a steroid.
mm,
Okay, so what I did was I actually just used some common sense. Okay, common sense in the sense that I went to research, okay, what is gluten free, number
mm,
one, and I went to research, okay, what are the things that I can eat without having me to have all this trigger again.
yeah.
Yeah, so I actually had a very, very clean diet for 3 months.
Mm,
And every time I go for a corporate talk, I always joke and I always will show my photo. But I think this photo is a bit dark. Most probably
mm,
people can't see well.
yeah.
Okay, I actually slimmed down. Yeah, yeah.
That's a
In
good one for, especially
Yes,
for
yes.
ladies.
In 3 months. So actually, the intention was not to slim down. The
Mm,
intention was just to detox so that my eczema doesn't come back.
mm,
Right. And today, if you come to look for me personally, I don't have any broken skin or
mm,
any wound that sticks to my pants.
mm,
Okay. So for me now, it caused a lot of convenience for me, and not just for me. I would say it created a lot of convenience for my children as well.
mm,
Yeah, for the past 3 years, because for the past 3 years, me and my two children, we have been doctor free.
mm.
Yeah. So it changed our life because I'll give you an example. Like my daughter, she is now primary five. Okay. She's able to help herself with simple
So
issues
primary
like
five is
11,
11
11
years
years old.
old. Okay.
Yeah, she's 11 years old. She's able to help herself with a simple issue like a cut
Mm,
or a tummy ache.
mm.
She knows exactly which oil to go for. So in fact, she didn't come to me anymore.
Because it's
And
very accessible, right? And it's
yes, yes,
natural.
she just go to my box of essential oils and she
Mm,
get all the things that she wants.
wow. That is something that you cannot do, especially with medicine, like Western medicine, because Western medicine you need to know the effects, and there's always side effects to a medication, and it's also like what you call that, massive
Side effect.
consumption is not possible also. but
Mm.
essential oil is possible, right?
Yeah, it's natural.
Mm,
Yeah, and I know that once she touched my oil, I feel more safe, and
mm,
she know what to do.
yeah.
Yeah, if let's say something goes wrong, right? So last week she was packing her luggage for
Mm,
a student exchange program.
mm,
So she's going China. So
wow.
she came, yeah. So she came to me and say, "Hey, mommy, let's discuss what oil can I bring for myself and my roommate and my teacher. Let's do that."
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So I'm very happy because she's so empowered.
Mm,
Okay. And as for my son, before doTERRA, whenever he has fever,
mm.
the first thing what would normal parents do?
Normal
Doctor,
parents
right?
would have
Doctor.
medicine. They'll see
Yeah.
doctor, then take. If let's say it's high fever, they will.
Burn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Right. So for me, previously I was sending him to a GP. We have a so-called family doctor.
Mm,
Okay, but I noticed 3 years ago when I do that, every time he visit a doctor, he take the medication.
mm,
He's very lethargic.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But for now, even if he has fever now, when I use the oils on him, he's still able to play and do
Mm,
his homework.
yeah. That's the most important thing.
It's correct. Yeah. So when I see drastic differences like this, I know I'm on the right track to empower them with the drug-free environment.
Mm,
Yeah. And Kenneth, you know what? When
mm,
our children are empowered with the knowledge to use the
yes.
oils, do you think they will teach their children how to use the oils?
Yes, definitely. Say, oh, I use this, I get well, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I say that I can say that once the children are empowered with this kind of skill to take care of themselves, it will free a lot of our time as parents also, right? Like you do not have to always like
Yeah.
in the middle of the night bring them to A&E in the hospital and wait for the doctor to come to you and stuff like that. It's really time consuming, and I would say it saves a lot of money at the same time.
No, it saves you a lot of heartache.
Yeah, heartache of what? Of
Like you see them going through the pain, don't
Oh
you feel
yeah,
very heartache
correct.
as well? Yeah.
That's the most hurting part. You
Mm.
see them going through all the sickness and illness and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, but I agree with you. Not just about the heartache. The time spending there, I could be
Hmm.
resting. Have
Correct.
a peace of mind. So I mean, we get to choose, right? So now I have a peace of mind compared to previously. I'm always anxious and a lot of
Hmm.
heartache. It's like, oh, okay, where are you pain? And the worst thing is the grandma, the
Yeah.
grandfather, the grandparents will come after you. Okay, how are they?
Yes.
The more they ask, the more panic you feel.
Correct.
Yeah, so it save you a lot of heartache. Yeah, and of
Hmm.
course time, money, and a trip down to the A&E as
Yeah,
well.
I agree with you. I never thought of the grandparents coming in and asking you how are they, like because recently my daughter has cough and it kind of come back and off, and
Mm.
like my mother-in-law has to bring her to see the doctor where because I'm having an appointment, my wife is at work, so she has to bring her to see the doctor, and after that doctor we're going to bring her to see another doctor. So it's really it's like they always say that it takes a village to raise a kid, which is pretty true. Your in-laws come in, your parents come in, you yourself, your other siblings also come to help out. So I guess it's like to empower our children with the skill to take care of
Mm.
themselves is very very important. And like essential oils is natural, you're able to help them to have remedy, and you, you don't have to worry that they feel lethargic, they feel like very very restless and not able to still maybe as per normal. But
Mm.
like you say that when your son is using the
Fear.
essential oil for whatever sickness that he has, and he still can react normally, and he can play, he can talk and stuff like that, which is less heartache, and you know that this is natural and it's getting well. So and that is also the reason why I invited you onto the show, and also to share with a lot of parents who are listening or who are watching that there's a better way out into taking care of your kids, especially in the more natural way. So I'm curious that what makes you step into entrepreneurship instead of a job, although you have mentioned like after three times you already face it, but why didn't you went to find another job? Maybe the next job will be better, maybe get more highly paid. So why is that so? Is there a very, very good reason?
Mm, okay, I think for most people here, if the audience are mompreneur, I think a lot of times what we want is we want more time with our children, right? So a mompreneur journey is not easy, okay? But you actually get to work your schedule around your children. So that is something very amazing. And I think maybe from young, I always wanted to have my own business, and that is why, yeah, I set up on my own business. And I feel that, okay, I think the most amazing part is I never felt that I'm working a single day for the past 3 years.
Yes.
You know how I feel? I only feel that, oh, I'm just, meeting up with friends to catch up for coffee,
Yes.
to share with them what I do.
And also chit
And
chatting.
yeah, it's a catch up. You catch up with friends again. You rekindle all the relationship with your friends. That's number one. Okay. Number two, you have more time with your family. Okay. And number three, you're in control.
Yes,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah.
they always say health is wealth, right? So
Correct.
so so it's the same. You have actually the control of doing what you want to do. Yeah.
Yes. And I like about that when you say that being in control, because I realize, and working with mompreneurs for the past 9 to 10 years, I realized that they have total control because when you're entrepreneur, you are living life on your own terms, and you are in control of the time. Like, you can schedule maybe in the morning, to work on your business, while in the afternoon, after your children are off from school, you can spend time with them, and in the evening you can have dinner with them, and at night when they are going to bed, getting ready for the next day of school, you can start working on your business. So everything is in your control, and this is something that being in the job you will not be able to have, because being in the job, your time is your boss's time, your time is the company's time, you are not in control at all. Although that people always say that, oh, our work time is from 9 to 6, but let me ask all the audience out there, especially the working moms, do you ever work from 9 to 6? There's only a very small portion of people that has that luxury of working from 9 to 6. But most of us, most of the working parents, they have to work from 9 to 9 most of the time. Am I right to say that? I believe back then in banking, you have to work from 9 to 9, and sometimes maybe even midnight, because maybe some urgent stuff come in, and your poor children will be at home waiting for mommy to come back, waiting for daddy to come back. But by the time when you reach back home, they are asleep, and only the weekends you get to spend more time with them. But most of the time, when during the weekends, the parents want time back for themselves, because they feel, oh, I'm so depleted, I have no time for myself, I do not have me time. And that's where a lot of times our children are being ignored or forgotten, and stuff like that. And over time, the guilt will start to rise over the time. And this is something that I feel that if any mothers or any working parents are facing this, do consider entrepreneurship, or do consider to take some time off to build something on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree with that. For me, I actually get to spend some time with my children after work, but that is because I bring my laptop home.
But you're
Yeah.
still doing work, right?
Yes. So after I spend some time with them, I work until 11 p.m., 1 a.m., and then the next day you still go to work at 8 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I have a life back then.
Yes, totally agree. Because that
Yeah.
that that is even let's say you reach back home, like you mentioned, most
Mm,
working parents, the work never stop, and the
yes.
commitment is there, the responsibility is there. And if your company culture is something that your bosses want you to work 24/7, because they work 24/7, they expect you to work 24/7, to reply
Yeah.
your email anytime when you receive one. So which
Yeah.
is which is very challenging for a lot of parents who wanted to spend more time with their children. And like for you, over time, I believe that you burn out
Yes.
physically, mentally, emotionally, because
Yeah.
it's not just not spending time with your children, it's also not spending time with your spouse, your husband.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
for mother, as a parent, we always put a lot of our time, even we left with so little time, we will spend all this little time with our children, and we've forgotten our spouse, our partner. So that's where I see a lot of social issues arise, a lot of concern, and that's
Mm.
why for me, the reason why I do Mother Industrialist live show is to, and also to interview mompreneur to share the stories that they are in control, and all this can be resolved by pursuing something that you're passionate about. And I like the part where you say that these 3 years of you stepping into entrepreneurship is not work at all. You basically, to you,
Yeah.
you love what you're doing, you can do it 24/7, and you are in control because you're able to spend time with your children. And this is something that I want all mothers or all parents to be able to have, that freedom, and also
Mm.
having something that you're passionate about, that you can you can do it happily and also passionately, and nevertheless also to help other parents or help people out there. Like for your business, um why are you so passionate about educating people about essential oil?
Okay. Um, I think Kenneth, I think most of, I mean, one most important factor for me is sometimes you get this thing called sense of satisfaction.
Mm,
Okay, I'll give you example. These days people are going for more natural product.
mm.
For example, like 10 years ago, TCM. Okay, we all know TCM.
Yeah, traditional Chinese
Yeah,
medicine. Yeah.
traditional Chinese medicine, right? So, but you actually never find them in hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But these days, you do see TCM department coming up. They're getting more
Mm.
and more widely accepted.
Recognized and
Yes.
accepted.
And all this is what? It is through education.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I must say that sometimes, sometimes I have a call and say, oh, can you go and help this auntie or
Mm.
help this grandma? She has gout pain. She has this pain.
Mm.
You really will rush down and send them the oils to help them. I
Mm.
think one of the most satisfied testimony that I had was a high blood pressure case
Mm.
where I actually, because this guy is not working, so
Mm.
I actually gifted him a roller bottle that I
Mm.
mixed the oils for him.
Mm.
Okay, and he actually applied it for, I think, about 2 weeks. And he actually wrote me a very, very nice thank you note
Mm.
that I helped him to lower his high blood pressure. So these are the satisfaction that, money can't buy.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. And that's
And
why I do what I do.
yes, yes, and I can feel that because I've attended your workshop, and I've seen the testimonials, and this is why, like for me, you talk about TCM. Like 10 years ago, TCM was
Mm.
not even, you can't even get a MC, the medical certification
Yes.
from
Yes.
TCM, but now you can, and it's being recognized, and it take them about 10 years or more than 10 years to be recognized, especially in Singapore. And now they're getting more recognized, and even hospital have TCM department that's growing. And you also see, like even sports athlete, they are also having all the baguan, like all the cupping from TCM.
Yes.
And like, they are foreigners, they are Americans, even Michael Phelps have the cupping also for him. So you see that it's being recognized internationally, but there's still a lot of natural pathway or holistic uh, health practitioner that are still working very low profile, like essential oil, although it has been around for many years, but it's still something that is still not really widely recognized. People know about
Mm.
essential oil, but how deep it is. It's also the
Mm.
same, like you say that you mentioned that a lot of people are going more natural, more healthy. That's where
Yeah.
organic food comes in. It's the same like TCM. 10 years ago, nobody knows exactly what is organic food, but now people know about organic stuff, products and services. But then that's where we need to dive in how deep, like this product, how many percentage is the raw material, or the material that used is organic, or the bottle is organic, or stuff like that. So there's more details to that, but it's a good sign. But it takes a lot of effort for all this education to come in. And I can see how passionate that you are in educating people, because you are not giving them the fish. You are teaching them how to fish, which
Yes.
is empowering them with the skill and knowledge to be able to do remedy instantly. Because, like, if every one of us are trained in the natural pathway to be able to treat ourselves in the, maybe for the minor illnesses, and in the natural way, then most of us will be in a much healthier state to even take care of our children, especially for parents. Like I always like this analogy that I always share this example, which is when you take a flight, during the flight instruction you will see that when there's any lack of oxygen, you need to put the mask on yourself before you put on your child. So it's the same thing with healthcare. Like if you have to save yourself before you go and save your kids, so it's to empower yourself with the skill and knowledge of healthcare, or even to use essential oil, then you can save your children. Like for your case, you help yourself in your eczema, and now you're imparting these skills, these life skills to your children. Now your daughter can pack all this essential oil, this simple health care kit, for a excursion, for her exchange program and stuff like that, which is very empowering. I wish that my daughter can do that. I wish that more children can be empowered, and that's where I find that this very um I'm very passionate in putting this across to a lot of parents out there. And why is it important for parents to learn about essential oil? And this is something that maybe you can share more on that.
Mm. Okay, I think earlier you talked about the mask and example
Correct.
that is the best.
Mm,
Yeah, because it's only when we parents we have the knowledge and then we can pass it down. So imagine my daughter is 11 years old, right?
mm,
So I have the knowledge. I didn't really sit down with her, sit her on the table and start educating her,
mm,
but it is true. The past 3 years, she see what I do. She see,
mm,
okay, if I wants to sleep better, deeper, I can use oils like lavender,
mm.
cedarwood, for example.
Yes.
If I have tummy ache, what are the oils that I use?
Mm,
If the brother have, fall down, what other oil she can,
mm,
help him,
mm,
right?
mm,
So she's only 11 years old.
mm.
And in time to come, she will be, educating more people. And from now until her adulthood, there's so much more for her to
Correct.
learn.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So my job is to create awareness by
Mm,
teaching classes. That
mm,
is why I don't restrict my classes to just kids health. When I go to corporate, I teach basic introduction to essential oils.
mm,
I talk about pain management, stress management. Yeah. And of course, there are also athletes, MMA champions who
mm.
also uses our company product and also
Wow.
uses essential oil themselves to help themselves. So, yep. So that's what I do.
Mm. And that is something that I always and that was a thing that when we met in this mommy support group, and you start
Mm,
sharing, and I got intrigued because of the natural pathway. Because for me, Western medicine, I don't like that because there's always side effects and always make me lethargic. And in the
mm,
past, I work as a salesperson. So salesperson, we need to go out, we need to drive. So at any point of time that we take medication, we get drowsy. Most of the medication is drowsy, especially you have flu, you have fever and all that. You will make yourself drowsy and you're not able to perform at work. And that's where I've been going for TCM for the longest time ever since, because it kind of built up my immunity, and
mm,
it does address some instant issue, like my body is more heaty, and that's why I always have cupping, just to get all the heatiness out and stuff like that. So this is very natural, and I don't get drowsy. Although my
mm,
clients will be saying, "Hey, Kenneth, what, you have just went for cupping and all that stuff," but it's not something, or the smell of traditional Chinese medicine, which is still okay, rather than me being drowsy and not performing, not able to drive and stuff like that. Or maybe I have will have most of my appointment cancelled because I'm not driving, I'm drowsy and stuff like that. And maybe
yeah.
I will be on bed for 2 to 3 days to recover. So that's where my I would say that for me, I go by the natural way,
Mm,
as drug free as possible. So
yeah.
and that also bring us to how can the audience or the parents get connected with you, Nicole?
Okay, the audience can actually find me on Facebook. So maybe after this Facebook Live, maybe we can
I will drop
put
the link
yeah,
to your
comment.
Facebook page. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So you can link me out on Facebook. My company is Symphony Scentsations.
Mm.
All right. So what we mainly use for our oils are not just for therapeutic purpose. It smells good as well. So
Yeah.
Kenneth, you don't have to worry that you don't smell good in the future.
Yes.
Okay. So of course, one of my vision is also to inspire women. Okay,
Mm.
women who wants to be entrepreneur, women who wants to be mompreneur, to
Mm.
have a good source of income that
Yes.
is integrated with fun.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. So of course, if there's mommy out there, there is any woman out there,
Mm.
who would like to find out more, they can actually reach me on my Facebook and then or drop me a text and then I can link up with them.
Yes, yes. I will
Yeah.
I will drop Nicole's Facebook, her Symphony Sensation Facebook link in the comment section. In fact, it's already in the description, but I will drop it again. And also, thanks for Nicole, because I find that it's very empowering, especially having the skills of knowing the natural pathway, or able to know to use the essential oil to treat yourself and also to treat your children in for the minor illnesses, and that is very, very important. And I believe that having that skills and be able to build a business out of that and be able to educate people, that is very, very important, as rather than
Mm,
giving them the fish, you teach them how to fish. And this is what
mm,
you are doing by imparting all these life skills to the mothers, where the mothers can pass down to their children at the same time. So time really flies, and we are coming almost to the end of the show. So
mm,
now, Nicole, like in the beginning, there's a tradition,
mm.
which
Yes,
is every guest get to pose a question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So are you ready with your question of the day?
yes, I am ready with a question of the day.
Okay, share it with us.
Okay, my question is very simple, but yet very difficult to answer.
Okay,
Okay, so my question is, are you happy with your current life?
are you
Happy
happy?
with your current life?
Wow. Okay, that's a very simple question, but hard to answer because
Yes,
most people will say, "I'm not happy. I'm not happy." Yeah, so really, really curious, and what is the reason why they are not
yes,
happy? Are you happy with your current life? That's all right.
yes, yes, that's
Okay,
all.
so the question of the day posted by Nicole is, are you happy with your current life? So I'm
Mm,
really looking forward for those who are watching and for those who are listening. Drop
mm,
your answers in the comment section. And also,
mm.
we are really looking forward. And for the next guest, get ready for this question of the day posted by Nicole. And last but not least, any last advice for the mothers who are maybe sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their passion or they should step into entrepreneurship? So any last advice for them, Nicole?
Yes, I do have. We have at least another 5 minutes, right? Can I
Yes.
share a little
Yep.
story then?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, so I'm not too sure whether have you heard of this story called the bucket and the pipeline story. So I'm just gonna spend like 5 minutes or less. Okay, so many years ago, there is a man who's live in a village who carry bucket of water to sell every day. So since the villager needed water, he had the perfect job security, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So to earn more money, all he need to do is to make more trip, right?
Yep.
However, one day he fell sick and he
Hmm.
realized that, the moment he stopped carrying bucket, he
Oh.
has no money. After he recovered, he decided to continue to carry bucket. Okay. But during his spare time, which is evening, because it's dark already, right? He will work on building a pipeline. So what he did was he stayed consistent and persistent. And few years later, he finally finished it. And all he need to do is just to on the tap in the village and the water just came, right? He
Hmm.
no longer need
Yep.
to carry bucket. All right. So he not only built a pipeline of water for the villager, so it's a blessing for the villagers as well. He also created a financial pipeline that allow him
Hmm.
to pursue greater cause and higher purpose in life. All right. So for those aspiring mompreneur, entrepreneur, if you really want to pursue your passion and still need to hold on to a job, it's okay, to consider setting aside time to build that pipeline.
Hmm.
The outcome can be rewarding, right? You just
Yes.
need to, yeah, you just need to know your why. Because when you know why, what you're doing, the purpose, okay, you will get things done. Like what I like about Kenneth book, right? yeah,
Thank you.
because Kenneth book talk about three P's.
Yes.
All right, his book talk about balancing motherhood and business with three P's. So the three P's is passion. You know,
Hmm. Yes.
you of course must know your passion. I cannot create the passion for you,
Hmm.
right? You need to know your purpose. Why? Because when the goings get tough,
Hmm.
the why will keep you, or the
Going. Yep.
purpose will keep you going.
Yep.
And then you will ask yourself, okay, I'm doing this for so and so. I'm doing
Yep.
this for my children, for whatever. All right. But of course, the last thing is also very important, which is the profit.
Yes.
Right? Profit is very important. If you have no profit, then there's no business to talk about. Yeah. Okay. And if you want to know how to have a purpose, you might also want to look into building what we call a vision board.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yes.
The vision board is very important.
Nice.
Yeah, it keeps you going. And yeah, so I think that is my main takeaway. Don't be afraid to take the first step, because there's always coaches around like Kenneth,
Thanks.
or any coaches in your field. All right, be it you get this coach information from a book, from an Instagram, from Facebook. There's always a coach out there for you.
Yes.
Yeah, you just need to plan your time, and the philosophy that I adopt is just do it.
Yes.
Don't think much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicole, for sharing this last advice, and also to help me to share the takeaway from my book. And it's very, very important. Like I like the story where she talk about the bucket and also the pipeline. And that's where in my book, Mother Industrialist, I talk about how they can create that pipeline. And if not, I will be able to help them to build up that pipeline, which is using the 3 P's, which is passion, purpose, and profit. And the passion part, it has a lot to do with the why. Like for Nicole has a very, very strong why. And also she has a very, very huge purpose, which is to empower people with the life skills onto healthcare. And the last but not least, because she has did um, I would say some testing and also to get some traction, and she makes sure that she's profiting before she jump 100% into the business. And this is like Nicole is already one aspiring inspiring mompreneur that you can learn from her. Right, she's embodied the 3 P's, which is passion, purpose, and profit. Passion comes from her solving, being passionate about helping people, and the purpose is to help people to get remedy in the natural way. And last but not least, she's profiting it from by educating people, by sharing people the benefits of using essential oils to treat themselves. So and also thanks for promoting my book. And for those who want to and Nicole says about getting the coach. And for me, a lot of my coaches are books, like books all around, like my own book. I have people having books also. I have books over here. I have books over here. So these are all books that you can gain from. They can be your mentor. It need not to be uh, people that you have to pay them a lot of money. You can just get a book. A lot of intelligence, a lot of knowledge is being shared in the book. And for me, I gain a lot, especially starting business, even doing my creative marketing business, and even for me to set up this Facebook live show. It's all about reading from books and stuff like that. So if any one of you are interested to grab a copy, there's a link below in this show, in this slide. You can see that grab a copy of Mother Industrialist now at bit.ly Mother Industrialist link. So for those who have grabbed a copy, you'll be able to have all the bonuses in it. And last but not least, thanks Nicole for making time, and thanks for your awesome, inspiring story that you share with us. I really hope that we could do another session to empower more parents or more people about essential oil, maybe in a separate session. So thanks a lot, Nicole. And Kenneth here signing off with Nicole Tay. Thank you for watching Mother Industrialist Live Show, and we see you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you.
Everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nicole. Bye
Bye.
bye.